Today on Warrior Update, Speech Team hosts a tournament, the winter main stage approaches, and we teach you how to step. It's Friday, February 3rd. I'm Maria Shrivastava, and this is Warrior Update. Speech Team hosted a tournament last month. Sophia Morano reports.
Public speaking is one of the most common fears, topping even death. However, there is a team of Waubonsie students who do it for fun every Saturday. Speech Team is an IHSA-sanctioned event that competes in all different speaking and acting categories.
What I really like about Speech Team is that there's definitely an event for everybody. We have a bunch of acting events if you're interested in acting, whether it's comedic or dramatic. We have reading events like poetry or prose. If you just don't feel comfortable public speaking, you just read something out loud. We also have events where you could talk about politics or even do a radio broadcast. So there are a lot of things that are good for everybody.
Team members feel as though speech has helped them immensely with public speaking skills.
I think that Speech Team is such a great activity we have at Waubonsie because public speaking is such a good skill for people to have in the workforce.
It's also a lot of fun and it's easy to do. You just have to memorize a speech or even just read from paper a speech at the competitions. So it's a lot of fun overall and it's worth the time you put in.
However, speech is not as serious as it seems. Students enjoy competing at tournaments and bonding with their teammates.
I just love public speaking. I love just getting up and presenting something that, for me, that I wrote myself and being able to share that with an audience of people who think similarly to me.
My best ever speech moment is getting my medal. It showed like all the hard work, dedication paying off. And when I acquired the medal, it was like a really emotional moment for my time.
When you think of speech, you think of serious public speaking practicing. It's not that. It's mostly just downtime and looking at competitors and looking at different speeches and stuff.
Good luck to the team as they compete next tomorrow at IHSA Regionals. For Warrior Update, I'm Sophia Morano.
Waubonsie Dance headed to state last weekend. Karina Collin reports.
Waubonsie Valley's dance team earned 11th place in state this past weekend with their unique lyrical piece, Hall of Fame.
Everything flows so nicely this year, which is something IHSA really looks for. And there's a lot of places in the dance where I can connect with my teammates, which is something we focus on, so that's what's really enjoyable about this one.
The team works all season on a few dances, hoping to please the judges and earn their spot in the state competition.
People get confused when we say we work on that piece literally all year, but we do because me and Kayla choreographed it in the beginning of the year whenever competition season started, and then progressively you want to change things according to the judges.
The dancers rely on support throughout the season.
Our parents are at every football game cheering us on, and like the crowd is too, and like when we go to competitions, like we're in a basketball floor, so it's kind of the same thing. Our parents are right there with us, like cheering us on throughout the dance, and like to have their support, it makes us just keep pushing and keep going.
The girls try to keep a positive attitude in order to dance as one on the competition floor.
Toward the end of the year, we started chanting for us, and like every time we went on the floor, we just started to dance for ourselves, and that's kind of when we started excelling, when we started to forget about the scoring and the places, and we were just doing it together and for us and like reaching our goals. I think that's when we started to really excel, and the pressure kind of let go.
We really were just one big family. There wasn't any real tension between us, and whenever we step out on the floor, we're a team, we're together, and we're in it to win it. And I think that's a family right there.
For Warrior Update, I'm Karina Collins.
Fine Arts returns next weekend with its winter main stage. Warrior Update has more.
Waubonsie Valley Theater takes the stage next week with the dramatic production of Mama's Little Angels.
So the show is about a family coping with their mother's death, and they go to the funeral and then they come back, and it's just the family kind of trying to deal with the death of their mother and work through it as a family.
It's going to be fun with the audience so close to the stage. It'll be a really intimate experience, and the audience and all the actors will be really connected.
The show director, Dave Calvert, talked to us about the unique staging of this show.
So the idea of three-quarter thrust is where the audience is sitting on three sides of the stage. So the audience is literally sitting on the stage, and our set is in the middle of that. So at any one point, the audience will be able to see multiple reactions. I decided to use three-quarter thrust because of the intimacy of the script itself, and I looked at the interactions between the characters, and I thought if we could get really close and we could actually watch these characters. So we had to be creative, and we looked at what would be the maximum number of seats that we could get on stage and seat comfortably and still be able to work around our set. And so it came to about 150 to 175. The good news is we've added an extra performance, which should help with the overflow.
Mama's Little Angels will run 4 days, February 8th through February 11th. Tickets are $7 for students and $9 for adults. Seating is limited to 175 per show night. For Warrior Update, I'm Matt Hicks.
Wrestling begins the postseason this weekend. Warrior Update has more.
Wrestling is headed to IHSA Regionals this weekend, led by the seniors Nick Sogdag and Mason Cronin. The two have been successful due to their hard work throughout their 4-year career.
I think I've been a lot more successful in my senior year because of all the off-season work I did. I competed a lot. I competed in the biggest national tournament in the world for high school age kids, which is in Fargo, North Dakota. So I just developed my skills all summer, and that's what I think really helped me in this season is the fact that I didn't really take any time off, and the fact that I just kept working stuff I knew I wasn't good at.
I've been waking up early every day, like grinding out. But really, after winter break, I turned it on at a different level. Started staying after practice, being the first one here, being the last one to leave, and really just pushing myself to a place I haven't been there before. I just keep grinding out more than I ever have, and it showed.
Although viewed as an individual sport, the team aspect has been helpful for the two.
Knowing each other and knowing our strengths and knowing each other's weaknesses. So it really helps when you're trying to get a practice in and knowing how you got to push your partner if they're having an off day or for them if you're having an off day.
Mason got me started in wrestling in 4th grade. And I'm not gonna lie, for the first 5 or 6 years, it was not fun wrestling him because he would kick my butt every single day. But I really truly think that's what made me a better wrestler. And around high school, it's when we started getting more even and was getting more competitive. And he realized I was getting better.
For Cronin, suffering his first loss last week was a learning experience, but his ultimate achievement remains the same.
When I wrote down my goals and when I came about the season, it wasn't about being undefeated. My goals for this year have been kind of the same as always, get down to state, win a state championship.
For Warrior Update, I'm Alex Lee.
With the Super Bowl on Sunday, we decided to see how much you know about the big event.
What sport is the Super Bowl for?
America's favorite sport, pickleball.
What number Super Bowl is it this year?
23.
51.
Who's doing the halftime show this year?
Lady Gaga?
I don't know. Eddie Bauer.
It's Lady Gaga.
Madonna.
How much does it cost to have a 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl?
$1,000.
Guessing $2 million?
Oh, actually, I don't know that one, but I'd like to.
What's your guess?
Probably like $5 million.
That's actually accurate.
Oh, for real?
That was the answer.
All right.
I'm gonna go with $1 million.
What city is the Super Bowl in this year?
Indianapolis.
Miami.
Canada.
Who's in the Super Bowl this year?
Football players?
The Falcons and the Patriots.
The Falcons and the Patriots, I think.
The Patriots and the Falcons.
Who's the Patriots quarterback?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady? Oh my god, I don't know this. Come on. Siobhan Shahuja.
That's 100%.
That's all for Warrior Update. I'm Maria Shrivastava. Thanks for watching. And we teach you how to step. It's Friday. Is that your dad? Today on Warrior Update, speech team hosts a tournament. The winter main stage approaches. Damn it. Today on Warrior Update, speech team hosts a tournament. And now, a word from our sponsor. Why would you do that? Why? You got scared. Fine Arts returns next weekend with its winter.